Hey, how are you doing? I was thinking about hunger as a concept, and I was like, how do you measure hunger? And so I started looking around, and I criteria. That's like the buzzword for like evaluation. What are your criteria for hunger? Not to be callous, but if you were a government program and you were solving hunger, how would you quantify that sort of thing? So that's what I was starting to look for. And so I did hunger criteria in schools, and there's some USDA and schoolnutrition.org, and a lot of it seems to center less on what I would think would be hunger, which is where you're like feeling hungry, and more about nutrition. So, like really crappy food like junk food and soda versus high nutrition things, and all sorts of programs in there where it's just kind of like, what's going on? So I wasn't convinced. And so let me show you. So I'm giving you my methodology for how I was going through the problem. I'm heading somewhere with this. So there's a US government portal called USA.gov. And it has a lot of documentation from all the states, but cities, counties, everyone who's received or distributed funding typically wants reports back and like, how did you do for the funding? Because for taxpayers, they want accountability. Like, how did you spend my money on that hunger program? So I found some programs. Again, USDA shows up. So breakfast programs, Center for Disease Control. They talked about that. Prevalence and correlates of hunger from the National Library of Medicine or National Institute of Health. But then they're off. They're not in the United States. They're in Malawi. So it might be more of like a society issue sort of a thing. And I'm like, oh, I don't know if this is great. So you might find some criteria there. Looking for the magic word. What's the magic word to describe hunger? So I went to a database called Education Full Text, and I just typed in hunger because it's in the context of education. So K through 12, K through 16. And there's noble policies like hunger-free kids. There's obesity, census data. So we're getting a little better. Maybe there's theories and effects. And I was like, oh, this is no good. So I went to utah.gov and typed in hunger again. And guess what I found? I found the USDA has a program, and Utah has a broken link, tragically, to a program called SNAP. And I found the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. The cool thing about this is they have an application. So you can apply for SNAP in Utah or eligibility for SNAP in Utah. What these are going to do, let's look at the eligibility. I'm going to open it up in a new tab. What eligibility is going to do is it's going to describe what are the ways that you can qualify for this if you're interested in it, because we want to target people who suffer from some of our criteria for hunger, whatever that is. And it looks like it's based on income. So you can look at this, and there's like a net income test, and you can click here to view the net income chart. So this is the URL of this is, oh, this is in Utah. It's jobs.utah. Well, I'll send you the URL. But if you Google SNAP USDA, it's eligibility for SNAP in Utah. So it seems like we have hunger. The criteria right now for hunger are defined as an income level, so the resources that a family has available to them. And then you have the outcomes of like qualifying for programs and things like that. So it could be that the stats that you're looking for might be lumped in with income. And so let me show you a way of finding those things. That one's a little easier. And actually, you could Google that as well. You could find out what that level of income that you need, and then you could just Google what percentage of Utah makes less than, what percentage of Utah families make less than, say it was $60,000 a year. I don't know what the level is for a family. And then you would get cool things like household income, and you'd get percentages of things like that. All sorts of different things like that. So you might have to, instead of looking for hunger, you might have to look for income and then base it off of that SNAP eligibility program. Another thing that you can do to save yourself from going through all of that mess of things is you can go, we have a library database that goes through census data. Census data includes income. They pull data from the IRS, Internal Revenue System. I don't know what IRS stands for. So it's called Social Explorer. And this looks at income and census data going back like forever. So if you wanted to do comparison studies, you can. I may have shown this to you already. I've shown this to a lot of classes, so I apologize if this is duplication. But if you click on Explore, I'll give you the short version. And if you want to go into this more, let me know. Uh-oh, my proxy thing it's choking on this. Don't proxy this website. Or proxy settings? I forget. It asks me all sorts of uncomfortable questions. You sure? Yes, I'm sure. This could be the end of my video. Okay, I'll send you the Social Explorer video where I can actually get it to work, embedded in this, and then you can look. But essentially, do you see this view of Utah right there in the counties? You can zoom in and you can program in like what percentage of families live below the poverty level and would qualify for that. And you can even do that inside of a specific county. You can see like zip codes. And then you could mouse over each one and see which percentage of families in that area would qualify for SNAP. And then you could make a statement saying, this is how many kids are, according to the US government, have the criteria for needing assistance for being hungry. Okay, I hope this helps. This is a long, drawn out one, but it's kind of fun piecing all these things together. So let me know how it goes.